Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Pikkel, head of LHV's Brokerage department. And you probably have heard about our great success in raising almost 400 million euros. We were after only 25 to 35 million. So let's see how to get the people interested so much that they will offer you almost €500 million. So first, for those who don't know what LHV is, we are very much focused on good relationships with, we have been the Member of the Year for Nasdaq Baltic Awards several times. We have been also the Investor of the Year, or with the Best Investor Relations of the Year several times. We also have the best service from banks in Estonia, and we are also the best employer for our employees. We also take into account the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, and out of those we have chosen these that we can influence the more, because as a bank we have the responsibility for the society, because as the Foreign Minister said in the early introductions, the people come to bank to get funding for their projects. So we can very much affect to which projects we fund and how much impact does it have on the environment. So we have chosen 5 goals to reduce poverty, to help with sustainable energy, to help Estonian economic growth, to reduce corruption, and also take care of the climate action. Regarding the LHV Group, the group is the only listed company, so in case of capital raisings, we always raise the capital through the group, and we allocate it as we choose to the necessary daughter company. Just to give you a quick overview what LHV does, the banking is the LHV Bank is in Estonia, focused on private individuals and small and medium enterprises. We also have a daughter company, LHV Finance, which is taking care of consumer finance. To go back in history, LHV started as an investment bank and an asset management company. This is what we do under LHV Varahaldus, which is the second largest second pillar pension fund manager in Estonia. Our newest daughter company, LHV Insurance, is offering insurance products to Estonians. We also have a branch, now we have actually a daughter company in the United Kingdom where we do banking, and then we offer also payment solutions through Everybay. So when you buy something from like a web shop, then you probably you can use Everybay solutions there. Our ambition is to be, as the bank, the largest and most profitable bank in Estonia by 2032. And we have a milestone to get past SEB by 2027. So this is why we raised the capital. In London or in UK, we want to be the leader in open banking. We serve financial institutions such as Wise or Coinbase or similar by providing them real-time euro payments, real-time GBP payments, and all other banking services. The asset management company wants to offer some competition to some of you here, so we want to be the most relevant institutional investor in Estonia. Currently we run 11 funds. Out of those, 10 are pension funds. And LHV Insurance wants to seize the potential to offer quality service, what we have used to offering by the bank, to also in the insurance market. So we see great potential there, and it also helps us provide the best overall financial service to Estonians. So the more interesting part for you, why did we do it, how did we do it, and where's the money for us? The why is quite simple. banks are subject to capital requirements. So in general, you can say that we lend out deposits, but due to regulations, we have to hold our own capital as a buffer in case the loans that go out, they go to default. So the rule of thumb is generally that 80% of own capital is by deposits and 20% of our own capital. The how is a little bit more complex. So the bank's own funds, they usually are the equity capital, they're paid in, they're the retained earnings, and some additional instruments such as Tier 1, such as perpetual bonds and so on, and also Tier 2 capital. This time we raised the Tier 2, and the rule of thumb is that 2/3 of the own capital is pure equity, including retained earnings, and the other third is the capital instruments. And out of those, maybe 2/3 is the Tier 2 and 1/3 is the additional Tier 1. So where's the money? The Tier 1 and additional Tier 1 and Tier 2 bonds have higher payment rank. Once the bank goes default, then the equity holders are the last one to get something back, and bond holders are second to last. So they have a high expectation to have a return, but from the bank side, the broader mix of capital instruments, it contributes less equity and gives us a lower cost of capital. And that, in turn, translates that we can give out loans on a more competitive offering. So the main question for you, I guess, is why 10.5? Historically, LHV has priced the bonds with base rate plus 6%. So the previous issues, we have, in my memory, we have done at least 4 times the Tier 2 bonds. So it has been around 6% because of the the interest base rate has been 0. So right now, since the base rate is around 4%, then you get the 10.5. In addition to the Tier 2 capital raising, we also did an MREL capital issuance, which is a similar bond structure, but it's on a better rate in the own capital. So the MREL was priced at 8.75. So we want to price the capital, the risk that the investor is taking, accordingly with the instrument. And of course, we discussed with several investors, and they gave us the feedback that if you do something over 10, then we are very happy to give you the capital. If you do it under 10, we might not be so happy. Looking at the aftermarket performance, yes, we could have done it under 10, but in LHV we always take care of the investors as well. And as you can see, almost 3% of Estonians own LHV shares. We have 38,000 and more shareholders. So if we talk about the capital markets ratio to GDP, then I think we're in a good position. We have a strong investor base. Estonian local financial influencers who also qualify the more difficult instruments, they understand our capital needs, they understand where the Tier 2 bonds sit in the capital structure, and they're happy to discuss it with the newspapers, with through their own platforms. So they spread the word for us, and that's why we did no pre-marketing for this issue. We also have the ability to do everything in-house. So in this case, we used LX Raidla with helping with the prospectus, but we're also able to do it in-house. Regarding allocation, to all Latvian and Lithuanian colleagues, I'm afraid that we can't give you any allocation if you're not a client of LHV, and since we service the Estonian market, then it's quite difficult for you as a private person to become our client. but we're happy to take your institutional orders. So we always have preferred our own client base, our previous investors, and that has translated that almost 90% of subscribers came through LHV, and around 85% of our shareholders hold their shares of LHV within LHV. So the message is clear. If you want to get part of LHV, become a client, become an investor, and support us with your business as well. And the main issue for you who are still considering whether to make an IPO or not, I should say go for it, because, as I said, we asked for 35 million euros, but we were offered 407 million euros. So in Estonia, right now, there is 372.5 million euros looking for good projects that can help them grow. So, thank you.
Thank you. One question was from the audience, especially about Latvia. So when and do you plan to open a branch in Latvia and offer the same excellent service so that also Latvians can buy the bonds?
Yes, currently we don't have any public plans to open a branch in Latvia. We have had in our history a Latvian and Lithuanian branch, but this was the time when we offered only or mostly investment services across the Baltics. Right now the strategy is focused on Estonia, because this is our home market. We have the competitive edge, being a local company, everybody can invest in us. And another edge that we see is servicing fintechs in the United Kingdom. So at the moment, I don't think in a very short time we would be in Latvia.
And do you in some way support the influencers you mentioned?
We always, we don't offer them money for publicly talking about us, but we're always happy to host their events. Estonia has a conference made by Äripäev, the largest business newspaper, and they have this investor Thomas, who is the most, I think, most relevant financial influencer. So we support these kind of activities. We sponsor the conference, we sponsor the so-called summer days of investors, but yeah, we don't do like this paid content.
Yeah. Thank you, Sander.
Thank you.